Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. Police in Waverly arresting an 83-year-old woman after they say she robbed a bank. Waverly police received a report of a bank alarm at the Chemung Canal Trust Company on Chemung Street on Friday morning. When police arrived, they learned that the robbery had already taken place and the suspect, Edna Jane Hallett of Waverly, had left the scene. After receiving a description of the suspect, police say they located her walking on Pennsylvania Avenue. Police say there were no injuries to employees or customers. Hallett has been charged with robbery in the first degree, which is a felony. Vandals strike during graduation weekend at Penn State. Penn State police say vandals broke off an ear and splashed red paint on the famed lion shrine on campus, also spraying graffiti on Old Main and the Hintz Family Alumni Center. Photos showed that Old Main had "Time is Up" painted on a door in big red letters. Blue paint was reportedly used to write "Death by Cop," "Death by Hazing," "Death by Suicide," and "Death by PSU Culture" on other entranceways. Penn State said the site has been fenced off and was not available for commencement photos as police investigate. Federal health officials say we could see millions more COVID infections in the coming months. The projected number could double the U.S. total case count. Jonathan Seri has more.
We could be in for another cold weather COVID surge. The White House warns we could see 100 million coronavirus infections this fall and winter. Since the start of the pandemic, the U.S. has seen 82 million cases. A senior administration official made the projection during a background briefing. The forecast assumes Omicron and its subvariants will continue to dominate new infections during the pandemic.
If we don't get ahead of this thing, we're going to have a lot of waning immunity. This virus continues to evolve, and we may see a pretty sizable wave of infections, hospitalizations, and deaths this fall and winter.
States are already seeing an uptick in infections. Nationwide, we're averaging about 71,000 new cases per day, roughly double from a month ago. Health officials are now urging Congress to approve additional COVID funding, saying investments in COVID vaccines and therapeutics could help prevent hospitalizations and deaths.
We're seeing rising cases. And as we've seen, when you've got significant numbers of people who are unvaccinated or significant numbers of people who haven't gotten their booster, that puts you at more risk.
Meanwhile, the Omicron variant continues to have an impact overseas. Daily case numbers have started to decline in Shanghai, but Chinese health officials are doubling down on the country's zero COVID policy. That means increased COVID testing and government quarantines for millions of residents. Here in the U.S., the CDC says the Omicron subvariant BA2 remains the dominant COVID strain. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
Governor Kathy Hochul announced Sunday that she tested positive for COVID-19 and is asymptomatic. The governor said in a tweet that she is isolating and working remotely this week. She added that all New Yorkers should get vaccinated and receive their booster shots. Hochul appeared at an event Friday in New York City alongside New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy. New York City Mayor Eric Adams also recently tested positive for the virus amid an uptick in cases in the state. Protests are expected to continue through the week as the U.S. waits for the Supreme Court to release their final ruling on federal abortion rights. Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with the latest.
A weekend of coast-to-coast protests over abortion rights. No major violence. However, there was an attack on a pro-life organization in Madison, Wisconsin, with this spray painted on the side. If abortions aren't safe, then you aren't either.
People who perpetrated this against us, that they're free to disagree with us, but they're not free to destroy property. They're not free to threaten individual lives and safety.
Police are investigating. A White House official saying President Biden strongly condemns this attack and political violence of any stripe. Americans continue to wait for a final ruling by the Supreme Court, which in a leaked draft opinion appeared to be ready to overturn Roe v. Wade and toss abortion rights back to the states. However, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell suggested in an interview with USA Today that a national ban on abortion could be possible if Republicans Republicans regain control of Congress and eventually the White House. Quote, if the leaked opinion became the final opinion, legislative bodies, not only at the state level but at the federal level, certainly could legislate in that area. Not all in his party agree.
I think that's inconsistent with what we've been fighting for 4 decades.
Trusting democracy on the state level is probably the way to go. I think that's what jurists from the left and the right have said.
Wednesday, the Senate is planning to take up abortion protection legislation. Democrats are not expected to have enough votes for it to pass. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
New York Attorney General Letitia James announces New York will work to protect women's right to abortion. Today, James announced a bill that would create a state program to financially support abortion providers in New York and will also provide them with the resources needed to care for out-of-state patients who come to New York to seek abortions.
Every person in this nation should have the freedom to control their own body and their own health care. And this fundamental right is implicit in our Constitution, and that right should not be abridged and or denied. And we are taking action today to make sure that remains true here in New York.
People across the nation are feeling the pinch of inflation, especially when it comes to the price of food. Carly Moore shows us some shopping alternatives that may help families stretch their dollar.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports the price of groceries has gone up 10% overall.
Grocery store prices are outrageous, and every time we go there, we're just thinking it's going up and up and up.
We're talking almost a 14% hike for meats, poultry, fish, and eggs, and an 8.5% on fruits and veggies. It's a sure sign that these days, spending less takes more thought.
You really provide healthy, clean, affordable food to the community at a lower markup.
The Co-op at First is a small locally owned grocery store that sells local affordable products with no income requirements.
People of every monthly income can come here and shop and participate, and their money is supporting the low-income communities, and by shopping here, your money keeps us going.
But if you have the means to pay up front, $500 will allow you to participate in a program like the Flesher Family Farm CSA, or Community-Supported Agriculture.
And that program's 18 weeks long, and members get to come once a week and pick up a box of between 8 to 10 items that are in harvest, depending on what time of year it is.
Tomatoes, herbs, root vegetables, and more will be grown by them on their land until it's harvested for you.
If people were to go to a natural grocers or any place out there where they're buying organic foods, I think they would find that they would spend a lot more than $500 over that course of time. So we hope that we are saving people money as well as providing them with really good nutrient-rich food.
Carly Moore, Fox 31.
We have your work week forecast next. Plus, if you're planning on catching a flight for your summer getaway, you may want to start saving up now. Stay with us.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Well, a beautiful spring-like pattern is setting up for the area. Since Saturday, we've been clearing out those skies and bringing in the blue sky that is allowing for some warming conditions even at times. As today, we've been able to touch the 70s. And looking back at what we were seeing with that rainy day on Friday, temperatures held within the 50s, but we've made gradual improvements each day throughout the weekend. Mother's Day was beautiful with a high of 67, and now we're going to continue to take that even up towards the 80s by the end of the week. However, still some cooler mornings to deal with the calm and clear skies that allows for any heating at the surface to really escape the atmosphere and allow us to fall back into the 30s. So you're looking at 36 in Elmira, even nearing 32 into Corning, 36 into Bath. So some cooler mornings, maybe some patchy frost. So some of those growing areas, if you have some plants already out there, take those in to just keep them protected from that colder air. But the afternoons, they'll love that sunshine, as we'll see that Tuesday is going to continue warming. The entire area should have a chance to see those 70s, and we're pretty much going to kind of rinse and repeat that forecast. Some slight warming day to day continues to happen, as we saw that happen over the weekend. But by Friday, when we get those temperatures into those 80s, there is going to be the chance to talk about some humidity at play. Not looking at it to be excessive, but enough that it is going to feel that moisture in the atmosphere, and then the atmosphere is going to use that moisture to feel the chances for some storms into the weekend that will shake up this weather pattern. But overall, as we head into that Tuesday, we go from that blue 37-degree temperature there at 7 a.m. to be back into those reds into the 70s as we head through the afternoon. So that sunshine doing some work this time of the year under those calmer winds. We will see only a westerly wind up to about 1 to 6 miles per hour there, so not too bad. About 4 degrees above average, as average now strikes about 70 degrees. So we should be seeing the 70s this time of the year. So that's why we were a little bit below average over the weekend, but we will stay at least at or well above that as we step through the week. So across the area, looking at least those mid 70s for the region, lower 70s as you step down towards Pennsylvania. Heading into that Wednesday forecast, another notch up. We even see 77 possible for Elmira, 76 into Corning, 75 into Bath. Now, when we talk about these 70s, as mentioned, average is 70, but we are going to see that by Thursday and Friday, a little bit of humidity at play. And if you're liking the warmer weather, take advantage. It'll be hard not to, but looking at the extended forecast, May 16th through the 22nd, so you're about third week of May, does start to bring in a cooling trend. So that will be where our eyes will be as we try to get out and enjoy the 80s. 80s are on the map on Thursday as well as Friday. As mentioned, not too much humidity, dew points 50s, 60s, so just that little bit of extra heat out there. Also remember too, higher sun angle this time of the year, burning is likely, so sunscreen if you do head outdoors. But as mentioned, that moisture will be used for some storm chances as we start on Saturday evening, and then you see there will be a downward trend in those temperatures as some cooler temperatures could take over as we head into that third week of May.
Airfare prices are expected to skyrocket over the next several months, making travel plans much more complicated for Americans looking to get away this summer. Sal Giangrasso has more.
2022 summer travel will look a lot different this year, especially if you're hitting the skies. According to travel search engine Skyscanner, round-trip flights within the U.S. will cost $302 per traveler on average, up 3% during the same period pre-pandemic. This price spike is expected to continue through the summer months as air travel bounces back following 2 years of lower-than-average demand due to the pandemic.
Airfares have changed a lot, price-wise. I just know the prices are going to go up and up and up.
Travel experts say the rise in prices will not stop travelers, and Americans should be prepared for packed lines and security checkpoints at nationwide airports.
With so many air travelers, security lines are quite long, so you should plan to leave a little extra time to check in and get to the gate.
For those looking to get to their destination by car, be ready to shell out more for gas at the pump. Analysts from Gas Buddy say nationwide average fuel prices for unleaded regular will be around $4.18 in July and $4.23 in August. Despite this, AAA says 42% of consumers admitted that rising gas prices wouldn't alter their summer travel plans in a recent survey.
We're seeing, unprecedented levels of demand. People are out there traveling again. People are really eager to get back out there and rediscover places that have been closed for so long.
To deal with the unprecedented number of air travelers, the TSA says they will hold hiring events in the coming weeks to fill positions as they continue to deal with staffing shortages nationwide.
As the weather warms up, one fire agency is teaming up with a swimming school to help educate the public on how to keep kids safe in the pool and avoid drowning. Anita Roman has more.
Roll. Good. Head back, head back, head back. Chin up. Good. Drowning is fast and silent. It can happen in as little as 20 to 60 seconds.
Good job, Nora. Every time you look into the face of one of those kids that you're working on, you see your own.
Deputy Chief with Gilbert Fire, Mark Justice, says driving parents to the hospital after responding to a drowning call is one of the worst assignments.
And I'll tell you that the only calls that have really stuck with me through the years are the drownings that I've been on.
And that's one reason the department has teamed up with Swim House for the month of May.
What I would say is follow the ABCDs of water safety.
Owner of Swim House, Jim Gleason, says A stands for adult supervision, B for barriers, C for CPR classes for adults, swim lessons for kids, and D stands for devices that are approved by the Coast Guard, like life vests for kids who cannot swim.
Ready, go!
Each of those layers of protection add up to be safe. There's no one magic bullet. You have to have all these layers of protection in place to make sure to give your kids a chance to be safe in and around the water and avoid tragedy.
We talk about being there with adult supervision, but just being there is not the key. Being present in that entire time that you're there is really the key to what makes that effective.
Both Gleason and the chief say that one designated adult who is supervising has to put the phone down. Eyes have to be on the water, and the kids at all times.
You got it. Ready? So all the way back, okay? Get back to your turtle.
And while they're talking safety, Gilbert Fire and Swim House also kicking off a kids' shoe drive to benefit One Small Step AZ, which provides free clothing and shoes to kids in the community. The drive runs through May 20th.
Good job, Luca.
Elon Musk has a message for Twitter employees. More pain at the pump, and internet providers are lowering costs for low-income households. CJ Papa has today's business briefs.
Elon Musk putting Twitter staffers on notice as he lays out his tech-focused approach to running the social media giant. Musk tweeting over the weekend, quote, also, work ethic expectations would be extreme, but much less than I demand of myself. But many are still up in arms over Musk's plans, saying his commitment to free speech is, quote, a threat to our democracy. Pain at the pump reaching all new levels, the price of diesel hitting a new record high, $5.54, which could affect home heating oil costs. And the national average price for a gallon of regular gas is up 13 cents from this time last week. Drivers are flooding big companies like Costco and Walmart for cheaper fuel, as experts believe the price will go up even more. And millions of low-income Americans will have high-speed internet access for less than $30 a month. The White House announcing 20 providers, including AT&T, Comcast, and Verizon, agreed to increase internet speeds or lower service costs for eligible households. The $1 trillion infrastructure package approved by Congress last year includes $14.2 billion for the Affordable Connectivity Program, which provides the monthly subsidies. For more stories, log on to foxbusiness.com. In New York, I'm CJ Papa.
Police are warning of a new kind of smash-and-grab heist that's targeting eyeglass stores. The thieves are looking to sell the stolen frames on the black market. Alexandria Hoff has more.
We started seeing this trend of eyeglasses stores being targeted earlier this year. Around Washington, 6 were hit in January alone. Another in March cost a Georgetown store over $100,000 worth of merchandise. But $20,000 is about the average, and that's what was taken when a group of young men unleashed on the My Eye Doctor store in the D.C. suburb of Alexandria, Virginia. Police released this video showing cases being shattered last month. At one point, a worker can be heard telling the suspects that the police are on their way. Prior to the chaos, an employee says he politely greeted the group when they came in as he would any other customers.
And then within the next minute or two, all of a sudden, they're smashing and grabbing. Kind of still getting over it a little bit, to be honest, obviously, because it's unexpected, surprising.
Communities around the country have been plagued by similar heists, where the goal is to quickly resell the high-end frames. Fairfax County Police are advising employees in eyewear stores across the area to be on alert, especially if they see individuals entering in a group wearing items to conceal their identities.
Just try to call 911, call police immediately as soon as you can. If you find yourself where it's too late and they're already in the store, we would advise employees to call 911. Get to safety, and the main thing is do not attempt to intervene in any of these actions.
In this case, investigators are looking for 4 males ranging from 17 to 23 years old, plus a getaway driver operating an older model black Toyota Camry. In Washington, Alexandria Hoff, Fox News.
We want to leave you with a smile. Ms. Pac-Man gets a place in the World Video Game Hall of Fame. The game earned the spot in the hall more than 40 years ago after it's released. The sequel featured the main character as a female, acknowledging all its female fans, according to the hall. They say the game also gave women a place in society as a whole and recognized their presence in the arcade. The Hall of Fame considers all types of games each year, and the selected ones are chosen by their influence on society and the game industry. Pretty cool. From our whole team, thanks for joining us. We hope you have a great rest of your day.